We have a year to go before elections are held, and what can happen in this interim period? Anything can happen. You think this country is stable enough now? People know what they want. There's a broad consensus after yesterday's meeting about elections and all that.
So that is the best case scenario, that all the parties continue to support Yunus, and they announce a particular roadmap in weeks or months to come, and things fall in place. So it is basically also a matter of law and order. Now, again, we've seen in the past Bangladesh elections have often been violent. And
Hmm.
also, we've
Yeah,
seen, and the last few months, Bangladesh has gone through hugely turbulent times, right?
yeah,
And which is why, again, there has been many have questioned Professor Yunus's ability to, kind of deal with these different, different elements which suddenly the society is seeing, which we hadn't seen before. The different, very strong elements who don't agree with each other. So those kind of things which are now emerging. So I think essentially a law and order situation has to be controlled very strictly. I mean,
mm,
and we've seen some very, for instance, the other day there was this, some Islamist group talked about something very anti-women's commission. The women's commission was instituted by this particular interim
yeah,
cabinet. They had the report in, and I think one of the advisors also mentioned her disappointment that the interim government didn't protest or didn't, say something against that.
yeah,
But my take here is that these Islamist elements who were always there, a part of Bangladesh's social landscape, have suddenly found a voice which they it wasn't there earlier, because there was a system in place and they were not allowed that kind of a
mm,
free fair fall kind of a thing. So the more you kind of engage with them, they become louder. So I think
mm,
the tactic at this point of time is to let them say what they want to say. We will go ahead with how we want to do it. Otherwise, and I've always argued this case that Bangladeshi women, will decide what they want for themselves, not because somebody else who, whether it's, Islam, Muslim, I mean, a religious leader or somebody, a male senior in the house tells me to do that. It is because I think it is good for me. And I think that is what has also differentiated Bangladesh, which is a majority Islamic country, from many of the other, including the neighbors that we have. They have
yeah,
walked a different path, and that's, I think, one of the, I think, the safeguards of the secular or the pluralistic society in Bangladesh that has survived for so long. So while those elements continue to be there, and I think it's difficult and has to be done carefully for the interim to navigate that path, that you
mm,
don't want to outrightly reject them, because they will, the noise they're capable of making is far louder than any other voice, right? But at the
yeah,
same time, and I argue this always about Bangladesh, that it's irrespective of the crazy videos and all that is emerging from Bangladesh, which makes you think very weirdly, the largest population of Bangladesh does not support this kind of philosophy. They maybe have a particular religion, that is fine, but they don't support these extremist positions. So, and I, again, we've always seen in Bangladesh, irrespective of the circumstances, Islamic political parties have never got even
yeah,
double digit voter strength. And
mm,
while their voices are very clear now, and the alternatives are very limited. That's the problem in this election. I think the alternatives are
mm,
becoming limited, because we see Awami League as of now, the activities, there's a
man,
ban on activities. So that's also going to be a critical bit. So, I mean, opposition is kind of, up in the air as to who would be in the opposition lead. Safe to say, we know BNP would be, getting the majority votes, but then who's going to come in the opposition in the parliament? I think that's a critical question that Bangladesh has to ask themselves.
and the NCP is also there. It's an uncertain factor, but it's there.
It is very much there, but also, again, I'm sure NCP understands that better than any one of us, that they're not likely to get too many votes. Some votes,
Mm,
yes, because there is a kind of a youth. But again, we've also seen a bit of differences of opinion within NCP at this point of
yeah,
time. So,
yeah,
I mean, I would really think that the best case scenario would be to have a electoral roadmap announced at some point of time. A caretaker government would come in 3 months prior to the elections, but just to maintain, law and order. and the rest will keep happening. I mean, Bangladesh has gone through terrible economic times. They're slowly
Yeah.
and steadily picking themselves away, stabilizing. The ready-made garment industry was in dismal condition when Awami Sheikh Hasina fled. It's still not in the best of health just now, but again, there has been substantial work done on that. So I think the interim government, in some ways, has tried to put the finance sector, the economic issues together, so that it doesn't like go into the rabbit hole that it was looking for. But it seemed that it was already in. But at the same time, there are many other outstanding issues which needs to be addressed. But first and foremost, social cohesion and law and order. I think once that is in place, I would say best case scenario would be elections held as roadmap. But again, as you say, there's always a black swan moment open, and we don't know what will happen. I'm hoping again that the army chief is strong. He's certainly been very, very assuring about everything, because
Yeah.
he's also seems like a very no nonsense person in terms of all these horrible Islamic sounding things that have happened. So
Mm.
again, interim and the army chief working together, and I think there has been a kind of attempt by the media here and elsewhere to, you know, to allude to the fact that the differences. I don't think so at all. I think they're working together. I mean, I don't think I have any reason to doubt that. So both of them working together with the objective in mind, I think I would, really keep my fingers crossed that Bangladesh will overcome this hurdle and go towards elections by June, as they're saying. Yes.